My name is Marty Melville. I'm an RN. While I consider myself semi retired, I continue to work with others in a holistic role coaching toward wellness. I call myself a concierge nurse as most of my activity involves reassurance, education, and referrals to the appropriate medical professionals. It appears there are many who simply do not know where to go for medical help, especially as the opportunity to schedule appointments is hampered by the sheer wait time to get on the books. This can be months for some. To be able to direct a client to the medical expert that can best help them and provide education as to why allows the client to feel less anxious about the medical system and how it operates in general. I have found that I also act as a patient advocate, answering questions and educating when the client doesn't understand the discharge instructions or a doctor's request for certain tests and so forth. Being able to talk with the client and their family helps to alleviate anxiety about upcoming interventions, tests, and procedures. Being an advocate is one of my favorite roles as a nurse. I also train with the Alliance for Hope, a team dedicated to preventing domestic violence, particularly strangulation trauma and forensic understanding of the same. Sharing this information is a passion of mine and has evolved into a teaching opportunity for those interested in learning more about this topic and other forensic issues. Leadership opportunities comes naturally in the various roles I have fulfilled in the past 25 years as a nurse. I believe strongly that a leader should never ask anyone to do a task they are not prepared or willing to do themselves. This, this is leading by example, in my opinion, and that has allowed me to use my talents and abilities in relationship with others, as mentioned in the Module 1 PowerPoint presentation overview. Working with coworkers in this manner has garnered trust and a positive work environment for everyone. Management experience in my career involved overseeing a high volume ER in San Diego County, a multiple county home care service in Utah, a same day recovery unit in Orange County, California, and currently a team of layperson forensic investigators. The variety in job descriptions and personalities involved is broad, but that makes my experience fulfilling. As a manager, the opportunity to determine routines and practices that offer structure and stability to others, as mentioned in Model 1 PowerPoint presentation overview, is applicable to all managerial roles, regardless of the profession. I found myself pulling from experiences in one profession and applying those skills in another. An example of this occurred in the ER. One of the banes of any ER manager's experience is the issue of transitioning patients through an always busy department. Rarely did our ER have a lull in the number of newly arriving afflicted. The sheer volume of people that walked up to the triage and/or arrived via ambulance outnumbered those that were either discharged or admitted. One of the tasks of the manager is to work with the department managers on the floors to help facilitate admissions. Historically, one of the med-surg floors on my hospital consistently refused to take patients due to no available beds. This was on nights, and very little would be done administratively to help with the problem. The pushback was well known among both department personnel and very discouraging to the ER staff. The problem wasn't addressed as a result and certainly wasn't going away. I knew I had to come up with some kind of a solution to the problem. Since complaints typically only fuel bad feelings between departments, I decided to draw on an experience I'd had years prior that had nothing to do with hospital care. It would take a little time to achieve my goal, which was cooperation and support between the departments, with the ultimate outcome that the med-surg floor would take our middle of the night admits without pushback. I was willing to give it a go. The first step was to boost the morale of the ER staff, and there is no better way to do that than to feed hungry workers. So I instituted Sundays. On the designated weekend, I brought in a large tub of ice cream with all the toppings for Sundays, including whipped cream and cherries for the top. It worked. We did this every Sunday for a month. Then I announced that we were going to share with another department. I didn't mention which department. And I asked for volunteers to bring in Sunday donations. This was part 2 of my plan. That first shared Sunday, I was the only volunteer, bringing in double the ice cream and toppings we were normally consuming. I chose a couple of staff, a random nurse and a tech who typically got the brunt of the pushback, and walked with them up to the designated floor. Their manager went wide-eyed as the tech and the nurse announced, "Happy Sunday" to her. Afterward, I expressed my appreciation to the manager for her support of the ER and wanted her staff to know how much it meant to be part of the Tri-City Hospital team. Then we left. Every week, we repeated the same for that floor, and as we did so, our delays and pushbacks lessened. The morale grew in the ER, and our flow through improved on nights. I knew it was a success when one shift I walked into the break room to find several dozen packages of graham cracker bears for our ER staff from the med-surg floor. The reciprocation was a tremendous boost to everyone involved. This situation speaks to competencies of health professionals, wherein they work in interdisciplinary teams to provide patient-centered care. By finding a common ground, even if that's eating ice cream on the graveyard shift together, the patients benefited as a result. As cooperation and mutual respect developed between previously conflicting departments, the resulting fellowship in which each group member contributes optimally in tandem with other group members to achieve clinical organizational outcomes was achieved. This allowed nurse-sensitive care standards to ensure positive patient-centered outcomes. Other experiences in leadership and management has taken place during my 25 years as a nurse, but none stand out quite as fondly as the ice cream sundaes. It feels like a job well done when I can look back nearly 7 years ago and still smile as I think about that leadership opportunity. Thank you.